All right, here it is. It's a Tuesday, and welcome. A Taco Tuesday and a Cinco de Mayo, Jay.
That's right. That's
Probably
right, man.
the widest holidays you could ever think of. You know, gringo manufactured holidays at Cinco de Mayo.
They could still be fun, though. I mean, we celebrate a lot of stuff that,
Quarantined in your Cinco de Mayo today. Thanks for joining the stream. And today it's a beautiful day outside. Spring day, 70 degrees. Tomorrow, 75. Gets a little windy on Thursday, 62 on Friday. But it pops back to it on Sunday. You're going to have a beautiful Mother's Day. Sunny and warm in the 70s. Thank you for tuning in. It's 7 weeks and 1 day since dining rooms shut down all over the Front Range. And it looks to be that Governor Jared Polis says it'll be until late May as the earliest before we might get to jump back into a dining room. And I know a lot of operators aren't anxious to just jump back in altogether. But today we're going to jump into Weld County in Windsor, Colorado. Tim Downey, an owner of Windsor Mill Tavern, is going to talk to us about he was all raring to go and going to open his doors, but the state threatened to shut him down because of his liquor license. And that's something you do not want to mess with, is your liquor license. Chef Brother Luck's going to join us at 2:30, 4 by Brother Luck. Brother Luck's going to help co-host the COVID fundraiser we're doing this Friday for the Angel Relief Fund and the Colorado Restaurant Foundation. Can't wait to hear from Brother. At 2:45, we'll head down to Durango, and Dave Thibodeau and Steve Breesley will join us from Ska Brewing Company to talk about their Mexican lager and a few of the things that they're doing at Ska Brewing Company. Larry Herz and Dr. Sara Metz will join us, but right now we need to welcome him back to the stream. His name is Chef Kelly Whitaker from Boston and the Wolf's Tailor. Welcome back, Kelly. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good to see you, Chef. First of all, need to send out that congratulations. You've probably been getting a lot of it right now, but James Beard Foundation announced its finalists, and in the nominees include, for Best Chef Mountain category, Chef Carrie Baird, Chef Carolyn Glover, Chef Dana Rodriguez, and Chef Kelly Whitaker. Wow, what a lineup, huh?
What a lineup! I'm the lonely
guy
white male in this. Yeah.
That's so cool. You're in good company with those ladies.
Yeah, I love it. I get asked about it, and I'm like, man, I haven't had a chance to really look at the whole rest of the country and what actually happened. But I mean, to have the four in one category in mountain is pretty impressive, and not only because like they're women, but because their food's actually really freaking delicious. It's like wow, they kind of got it right. I feel like so.
I think they did too. Those chefs, all of you, kick ass, and it's we love you all. You can't pick just one, but here it is, the postponement. Can you tell people how that works? Do you know how it works out? This weekend in Chicago, wouldn't they have done the awards ceremony?
Yeah.
How does that work out with the James Beard Foundation?
Well, I don't know how everything is chosen, and I don't know the process for it. I know it involves a lot of past winners, but really, it happens at the beginning of the year. They choose a long list of semifinalists. And for me as a cook, it's like, I never expected to be on it. Last year, myself and Jeb Raquel, my pastry chef, and also my right-hand man on a lot of this stuff is like, we both woke up last year with the call in the morning. Well, same thing. We started getting a bunch of texts, and he called me, I called him, and he didn't know I was on the list. And I was like, he's like, hey, I got on the list. He almost felt bad for it. And I was like, hey, I got on the list too. He was actually up for Best in the United States, which was just a huge thing. Him being a chef from New York, he's worked under about 14 Michelin stars and was recognized for the Wolf's Tailor for pastry. So we both were, it was very early on for a restaurant to be chosen for that. And I was like, awesome, I did it, check the box. So what happens is they choose the semifinalists, and then a little bit later, another month or so, they go through another process to choose the finalists, and then the finalists all go to Chicago, and it used to be New York. A few years ago, they changed it over to Chicago, and everybody dresses up. It's not like everybody's like, oh, it's the Emmys of food or it's the Oscars of food, and I'm like, nobody dresses that well. It doesn't. It's like more like the ESPYs where you have athletes trying to dress up, but like, I mean, chefs have some flair and some style. Marcus Samuelsson is always like to the nines, but. So yeah, you dress up, you go to the thing, and then they choose the final winner. And it was this week that everybody was supposed to be in Chicago. So during the pandemic, they paused announcing the finalists until yesterday, which I had no idea. Again, I'm kind of knee deep in it, so I wasn't really paying attention to where the process was at. And I didn't even know if they would keep continuing on. It's a little bit controversial to think about, celebrating some people or, leaving other people off the list, when everybody's kind of fighting the same fight right now.
Yes. Yeah. Bittersweet, huh?
Yeah. Bittersweet.
So they'll drag it out until September 25th. You won't know the answers until then. But I talked to other chefs, and they're like, this is the top of the hill. That's what we work for all of our careers, for something like that. I find that to just be very refreshing to think, man, you've got that feather in your cap, but you continue to go. It's the love of the business.
Yeah, I think there's two types. I mean, like I said, for Jeb, my chef and partner right now, when he jumped on, it meant such a different thing being from New York than it even meant for me being in Colorado or being a line cook in LA. I think the James Beard Awards definitely mean different things to different cooks based on their path. But I would say as a whole, I think, all of these award systems, they need to be looked at and kind of try to maybe be a little more transparent or understood a little bit more in the how and the why. I still don't know. All I know is the James Beard Foundation. I've had the honor to work with them over the past couple of years, totally unrelated to the awards, has nothing to do with it. But they started a lot of advocacy programs, and they do a boot camp, and Chef Daniel Asher's gone to that boot camp, and Kyle Mindenhall and Alex Seidel. Like there's a core group of chefs where they go and they train you at an undisclosed location, like out at a farm for 3 days. You turn off your phone. They bring in different speakers. They bring in a couple of music. Like it's a pretty transformative process, but they figured out what was like revolutionary is that chefs actually don't know what they're doing when it comes to having a voice. And so they were going to teach chefs. I was like, oh man, that's really intelligent to recognize that we're better at cooking than speaking, I was like, what a aha moment. But so going to those things really does allow you to hone in your voice and try to, have more impact. And so James Beard Foundation, it used to be for them definitely just about, who cooks the best and like a lot, pre the Jonathan Gold era of writing about, your corner taco stand and saying that really it's not about, the white tablecloth thing. Really, that's where a lot of organizations were at. So I give big props to James Beard Foundation for thinking about that and moving towards that. Because right now, I know they're giving grants all over the country right now, raising money, helping all restaurants get a fighting chance to come out of this thing. And so they've really tried to level the playing field. And when you see a category, like I said, for Mountain for amazing women chef, I don't think that they were chosen because they're women. I just think they're phenomenal chefs. But, but they're looking at it more. They're paying attention to it more. And they're like, how do we do this? So, again, I think of all the sort of awards out there and watching people pivot from the 50 list of the world restaurants and the Michelin star and the Michelin guide and the James Beard, it's like, think of it whatever you want.
Sure.
For me, it just means, yes, I check that box, but just like you said, I wake up as the same today I'm in the same fight as I was yesterday. I opened Wolf's this week, for the first time since April 1st, I closed down. So I'm just going to continue doing that. And, it doesn't change anything for me right now other than, anybody deserves a pat on the back right now for their efforts, including people that run restaurants or own restaurants. And, I spend every waking hour lifting up my staff, trying to be positive, but it's like everybody needs if it definitely feels good. I'm not going to say that I didn't need, that, but yeah, today it's just back to work.
Back to work day. Another guy and joins the stream. Do you see this other handsome young man on the stream with us right now?
Yeah.
You know who that is?
No. I can't even. My box is like this big on my phone.
Well, we did. He's gone now.
Oh,
and it's gone.
And he vanished. So that was Chef Brother Luck. He wanted to come in and say hello
Oh,
to
nice.
you. Yeah, I have a feeling.
Dude, where is he at?
He'll be back.
He's like, stop talking so much.
No, not
He's
at
like,
all.
I'm tired of listening to you talk.
Chef Kelly Whitaker. Yeah, no, he wanted to come in and I think there's the doorbell. And I think he's back with us. These Zoom calls are so interesting. We're on more of them than ever. There he is. We were just talking about you. Chef Brother Luck, Chef Kelly Whitaker.
Sorry,
Hey,
dude.
what's going on?
Sorry to talk so much, bro. I'll, what up? How you doing, man?
No,
good to see
man,
your
it's your limelight, man. You killing it, man. Congratulations, by the way. That's so
thanks,
dope, man.
I think it's good for everyone in Colorado right now. I think, I don't know. I didn't even know. Like I had, like I said, it's such a weird time to even say congratulations. But thank you, sir. How you holding up?
Man, I'm getting there. I think we're all kind of same boat. It's like it's cool that we get the nominations and all that good stuff. But like at the end of the day, I'm more concerned about trying to keep my businesses open. Like it's the reality is when this PPP money runs out and we still got these mandates, like how do we keep our staff on board? Like we can't survive on curbside revenue. It's crazy.
Yeah, I still don't. I'm still in a million conversations a day about PPP. So I don't even totally get it. But
yeah,
it's like
Well, like I just got out of a meeting with my accountant, and she said the IRS just said that we're gonna have to claim PPP money as income, and we're not gonna be able to write off the expense if it's forgiven. Like, seriously, like it makes no sense. Like, can y'all talk to each other before you just release this stuff?
And
every day,
my biggest fear right now is like, again, you're like, you want it to help, but you're like, it's so vague, you don't even know. It's best guess all day. It's best practice all day. It's not clear cut. And it's crazy, dude. We'll see. I'd like to say that we're gonna come out of this, and I'm just like still up in the air, right?
Signing that promissory note, and you're like, you got 6 months, and in November you're gonna owe us $15,000 a month, and you're like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
but they can't tell you it's forgiven. They don't even have solutions. I mean, it's just a weird time, man.
Let's do a roundtable if you guys don't mind. Again, Chef Kelly Whitaker joins us. Are you at Basta today?
I'm over at Dry Storage, our little bakery next to Boston.
Oh, nice. Actually, I haven't been in there. That's kind of cool. Maybe you can show us around there a little earlier. Where are you, brother?
I'm over at 4 right now. Just left Lucky Dumpling.
So from Lucky Dumpling in Colorado Springs to Kelly Whitaker. Guys, so Kelly, the Wolf's Tailor, you reopened this past week. Talk about what that is like right now for you.
It was very nostalgic. I think, we had about 21 employees. We're bringing back first in line, like who raises their hand and wants to be back. So the first thing is like that sort of filter. Again, nothing against anyone who wants to like stay home right now, but it felt really good because every single person we only brought back. It's a team of 3 in the back and a team of 3 in the front, which we used to run about 12 in the front and about 6 or 7 in the back, And it's just an efficient team, but it's a team that wants to really be on the line right now. And so it's awesome to be around that type of energy for me, at least, to be around a type of energy. And then, we opened the restaurant about, a year and a half ago. It feels like you're opening a restaurant twice in a lot of ways because new service, new menu. We have a new chef team that was sort of predetermined before all this happened, that our amazing chefs like Cody and Sean May, Cody Simpkins was the head chef there, had kind of, they've been so set on their next chapter and and it kind of landed right in the middle of this. So it wasn't like, our chefs, whatever. So Jev and myself and Sean, who is the original chef that opened Basta with me, like it's us working the line. And to be honest, it just felt really good to be in there. And, when we closed, that restaurant was on fire. We had a lot of stuff. And towards the end, we were doing nothing, like $100 a night. It was just like trying to figure everything out. We still had 12 to 15 people showing up for work, and we were doing like $300 in sales. Whereas like Basta was on the up. Wolf's just kind of, what was like a restaurant that seemed to be very relevant became irrelevant very quickly, which I thought was strange, because in Boulder, the, Basta has been a fixture in the community, and people seemed to gravitate towards that right away. Like they were like, this is my comfort zone. So Basta was like really on the up, and, but regardless, I'd sort of ridden that until I knew that our employees had been taken care of, and I shut down everything to rethink everything, how people order, so this week we opened Bruto, and it's like I said, it feels like, four restaurants that were sort of opening in 4 weeks is kind of insane, because, bringing people back and rewriting all the menus. What kind of food do people want to eat right now? And so I just tried to rethink Wolf's in a way that was like, in line with a little more comfort and a little less of the stuff that I thought it just wasn't important right now. So we've been pivoting those menus, and I think the food is in first week is absolutely delicious. But it's our OG original team there is like there with the 3 or 4 of us with Jeb and Sean, and it's pretty awesome to be but they sort of went around to all the restaurants, touching all the restaurants. They're very talented, and so to be on a line with just 2 of them as line cooks, I'm like, oh my God, man, it's good, it's delicious, and it's back to grabbing one guest at a time kind of mentality.
You can relate to that, can't you, brother?
Yeah. I mean, it's your kitchen crew is now like, it's all your aces, and they're getting one-on-one time with us, which is kind of nice because for a lot of us, we're asked to do events or we're traveling, and you get pulled away from the kitchen. So right now is actually a really nice time to just stop and we're cleaning, we're reorganizing the actual flow of the line and getting the projects done. And I mean, we just painted the whole kitchen, like stuff like that, where we're just work, and we just need the doors to open, man. Need people to come in, but we got to be safe. That's the double-edged sword.
Yeah, that's interesting. Brother, screen's frozen on my end. Maybe it'll jump back. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Let's jump into reopening, guys, because I think it's an interesting thing, and especially, last time we spoke, Chef Whitaker, we talked about Basta, and you finally started to get some footing with that pre-order system in talk, that great online ability to be able to really just precisely dial in what your menu will be for the following day. To deviate away from something like that, I think that's probably, you find the crease again, right? And then to go away from that. Where's your thoughts going towards reopening, and at what point will you know that that's the right time to do it as far as dining in your rooms?
Tough question, but as I think about it, I'm never gonna pull away from what we just learned. It is a very efficient system. It does allow us to. Some people, I mean, let's face it, are just not going to want to leave, right? Or some people have more at risk and they want to stay home. So this will be folded into our company for at least through the end of the year. I already know that. We didn't offer to-go food at Wolf's before, so it's definitely part of what we're doing. My thought process on opening, I was just Kevin Wynn, my architect, who's I mentioned on the last show. He's actually working with Colorado Restaurant Association, and he's on the sort of planning ideas around what a dining room would look like. Some interesting arguments too, like at Wolf's we have booths. Chef, I think you're sitting in a booth right at your restaurant, but we wanted to build, a unique wall in between the booths, make them higher. And they're like, no, that's not 6 feet apart. And Kevin's like, you have a wall in between you and the guest. Next to you is a wall better than 6 feet. And technically it is, but it's like, so there's going to be a lot of that stuff happening. How people go to the restroom. He was just telling me, like, is there a monitor at the restroom? Like someone sitting there? Like, I just don't know. But for me right now, until we have clear-cut answers, which we just don't have, I'm going to stick with this system. And what I'd like to see, if I had to open today, I would almost treat it like as a vending machine. Right now, we're thinking about mobilizing our sort of SOM team, beverage team to curate before you come in. So again, it's a very fine dining. Like if you go eat at Single Thread or the Laundry, they ask you like, what kind of music do you like and what kind of wine and what, you know. But I think that we would I'm simply saying, do you want to eat in your house or ours, you know? And if you want to eat in our house, you still have to pre-order potentially. Because pre-ordering saves about 15 steps between the server and the guest. But if they want that social interaction, they can start with 2 Negronis and they can go into a couple courses of food. We'll pace it out for them. But like, I still feel like if I had to do it today, and I was like, I'm going to let people back in, that the system of just like already knowing what's coming in before they come in is, it's also selfishly a power I don't want to give back to the guests right now. I want to be in like control of it, like, because you know, it does allow me to play it a certain way and do it in a certain thing, and it allows you to just like a perfectly planned dining room, and it does allow me to like, you know, control the flow however I want. So there's parts of it I don't want to give up ever.
Brother, have you heard of the ordering system talk?
Yeah, no, it's a big discussion right now. I mean, you know, we're kind of getting into that as well, where it's like a lot of people want us just to come to their house, you know, and in the mills and letting the SOM put together the tastings and, you know, going that direction. So, you know, I think to-go's not going anywhere. You know, curbside pickup's not going anywhere, and we have to embrace that and, you know, just be smart with you know, how we're planning these menus for them to be able to travel well.
Yeah, I think dipping the toe in the pool to comfort and safety is going to be everything to the diner. And deregulation is something that, you know, kind of helped out. Let's face it, alcohol to go is just the Wild West. Whoever thought that would ever happen? Extending it another month. Some people say, well, all I hear there is that dining rooms aren't going to open up for any, you know, time in the near future here. But deregulation, as far as, I mean, conceivably, could you see like the Wolf's Tailor utilizing some of that space out back, outside, or in the hall? Like, what are some creative thoughts that you could do with that, Kelly?
Yeah, no, I think patios are big. Everybody's thinking about patios right now as being an advantage if you have one. So we're definitely going to keep people outside as much as possible. And because, I mean, all of our spaces are small, you know, like, I don't know, you know, if we're talking about 50% capacity inside, at least outside gives you a shot. But yeah, like I said, most of our innovation and thinking is around the ordering system, how people order, efficiencies and guest experience. How can you really, where's that level of hospitality if you take care of someone in this sort of curated experience, and try to predetermine most of their experience before they come in, like 90%. And if they tack on a bottle of wine, maybe I can, you know, do something about that. But otherwise, you know, as far as dining rooms go, I don't get it right now. I have a hard time thinking about our staff walking up in full equipment, taking care of tables. I just don't know. I don't know how, you know, I did a week at this place in Hong Kong, Yardbird, and their group has put out a lot of, it's a yakitori place, and their group has put out a lot of information, but their hostess is temperature checks, sprays, distancing, gloves, face masks. I mean, I'm like, dude, I mean, but they opened, and it's one of what I think is one of the best restaurants in the world. I loved my experience there. I love the team over there, and they're the ones that are opening up first. You know, Hong Kong went through what they went through, and now they're like, so I'm kind of looking over there going, well, is that what it looks like? I don't know. Are we temperature checking all of our guests? I have no idea, man. That's like I don't see it right now, but I didn't see a lot of things right now. I don't know how I feel about that.
Controlling what you can control, and again, there's very little that you can control. Is brother still with us, Jay? I'm not sure. Oh, he is?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Just didn't see you on the screen there, brother. And feel free, let's jump in any time. As far as deregulation goes with you at 4 by Brother Luck, you have a patio out front. You could probably utilize some more, and if you look down there on that street in Colorado Springs, what is that street in Colorado Springs again that you're on with 4?
That's Tejon Street.
Yeah, on Tejon Street.
Yeah, I mean, Tejon Street's got tons of patio, and it's kind of the main strip down here in Colorado Springs. Lot of good patio seating. We're going to utilize that to the best of our ability. We have a room that actually opens up to that patio, so it's just getting creative with how we do that. But like Kelly said, like, how do you imagine a dining room? With a server walking up with gloves on and a mask, and can you find humor in it? Can you make it part of the experience that's laughable or I don't know. I think a smile goes a long way when a guest is talking to one of our team members, whether it's a bartender or it's a server, and that's part of the experience. That's part of the emotion, and to lose that visual, I think it takes away from the experience.
It really drove it home with me when I talked to people like Daniel Asher, who, I mean, he's a vibe guy. Everything is energy and vibe to Dan. And that experience of how the customer, when it comes down to plating food or being disconnected from the customer, when they take it home to their home and he can't get a reaction from them immediately, it gives him huge anxiety that he's disconnected to the folk, to someone who's eating his food. So we look at like lessening touch points. We look at how you can make people feel better inside of dining rooms, the physical distancing. There's going to be a point where some people like Dana Rodriguez says to us, you know what, I'm just not going to open up because I don't want that liability as well. What if somebody gets sick in my restaurant or says they got sick? That's going to close me down and shut me down altogether, and I can't afford to do that. There's something to be said for that right now, the liability standpoint.
100%. I can't be around Daniel Asher or Dana because I have to hug both of them so much when I see them. Like, I just avoid them completely. It is a liability. There's not enough information out. You know what I mean? We're not doctors. We're cooks, right? What? So I agree 100%. Like, it's about a slow roll. It's about understanding what we're up against. When I'm over in the Highlands and in Denver, it's way different than being in Boulder. People are very, very cautious in Boulder, and the Highlands is like, oh, they're starting to open up a little bit. I'm like, they're feeling a little more comfortable than they feel in Boulder right now. So it's kind of like neighborhood dependent in a way. Like, totally. I don't know what Rhino looks like versus, Pearl Street in Boulder versus Sea Springs, and what's happening down there. Like, I think that it's going to open up, and so you don't know. I feel like a little more comfortable opening in Boulder, knowing that people are really practicing social distancing. But who am I to assess that? Like, I don't want to open the Highlands right now. I'm afraid my backyard is going to turn into a party or something because people just want to get out of their house. And I'm like, man, I don't know how to. I'm just trying to check IDs, right, and make sure that there's not underage drinking. Like, now I got to check temperatures. I got to make sure that no one gets sick. Not beyond like food poisoning. Like, it's a whole different set of responsibility for a restaurant. It's again, hospitality is the word from hospital, right? We're caregivers. It's all in the same. It's like, but our field is way different than that field in terms of who should be taking care or understanding that versus us. There needs to be more information out there. It's just plain and simple. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous that we're having to guess 100% of our day while opening our restaurants, like around the PPP, around health and safety standards of God bless the National Restaurant Association. I think Colorado Restaurant Association is doing a phenomenal job at getting information out as fast as possible. But at the end of the day, it's a guess.
You're right. Right.
It's a guess.
You look at people like Juan Padro, who just steamrolls forward no matter what, pivots. He'll even put in a new concept inside of Bardot with jabronis and selling out his sandwiches for weeks ahead of time. There's opportunity, guys. I mean, is it seriously to the point of where quit lamenting the past and go with the flow, and your dining rooms will never look the same again, but you need to get innovative in your business and your entrepreneurship and forget what you once thought was and start thinking about what will be? Sorry, man. I'm sorry. I am totally sorry.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm definitely not ready for that. I don't, I think that there's going to be an end in sight. But again,
Yeah.
I think this exposes the whole industry, our weaknesses. I think it exposes our supply chain. It exposes, and I think that the people, that are paying attention to this are going to be the ones that come out of this in a different way. But again, we'll have some sense of why we got into this business in the first place. We'll find that connection to why, like you said, Chef, when you smile at somebody and they smile, that's all a part of what we do and why we got in this business. And so I think we'll find that in one way, shape, or form. I think we are going to come out of this. I think it will calm down. At least I'm hopeful. And then I think that those who really reflected and said, you know what, why would we move past this? We have a broken food system. We just saw that. Why aren't we learning from this? I think that'll be hopefully the sentiment, like people returning to their families, baking bread at their house, whatever. But restaurants is a big part of what I think everybody's missing right now. I think everybody at home wants to come out and eat right now and sit in our restaurants.
I can't help but think of the attrition, though, and as days go by, and you're not getting the return that you need. You're just in hold on and just try and put a Band-Aid on the hemorrhage right now. What are we going to look at when Main Street opens back up and the businesses are supposed to be there, but they're not? I mean, a lot of folks have to adapt or die right now. I mean, that's just the way that it is. I'd like to think, well, very cool that we can hang on to the nostalgia of it's going to return, it's going to be back, but will it be in time? Will it be in time? Again, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the money runs out eventually.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and every instance is different. Every restaurant is different. The Dana Rodriguez is going to be a lot different in working class than across the street in the Troy Guard with Los Chingones. Those restaurants are completely different looking in all sense of the models. Both just as viable as the next. And I think you're right. I think you're right, Kelly, when so many things are being exposed right now. And there is no manual. I'm looking at this, I guess, manual from the National Restaurant Foundation of the guidance of reopening. But basically, it's all stuff that you guys already do, safety-wise and serve safe. And these are practices that you've done forever. The rest of it's going to be how creative are you going to be in your dining rooms and how willing are you to let it look different than what it looked like pre-coronavirus. And I think that's just going to be the name of the game. They're going to let you open the doors at some point, but it's not going to look the same for quite some time. And as we're struggling to talk to chefs and brainstorm, when I talk to somebody like Chef Dan Asher, who I really look to as far as his staff and the people that come and see him, because he's got that vibration, that experience that it's contagious. People want to come back to more and more. But I have to think that there's an experience deep down inside of this somewhere. There's got to be. What is it?
Yeah, I think that you're touching on, again.
Yeah, the biggest part too.
Oh, go ahead, Chef.
I think that the most important part, and I think all of us understand this as chefs, is we have to be connected to our communities because that's who's supporting us, whichever neighborhood we're in, where the main populace of our volume comes from. We got to be listening to what they want, and we've got to adapt and evolve to what they want because they're the ones that are supporting us and allowing us to be successful. These are the guests that are taking care of our employees and saying, hey, I just donated $1,000 to the hospital. We want your restaurant to do the meals for the workers. That's got to be the pulse. And that's the only way we're going to make it out of this is listening to the community and having that constant connection.
That's well said. The guests are going to dictate it. And they'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the same thing. Someone asked me the other day that someone said, restaurants that come out of this are going to be ones with values. And I said, well, kind of, but mostly it's going to be what the neighborhood values. Like you said, Chef, like what does the guest value now? Is that the comfortable place on the corner? Is that a price point? Is that an experience because they can't go to Red Rocks? Like you got to look around and be like, who around, what is the guest going to value? And I think we asked ourselves that before. when we said, we're going to do more stuff at the table. We're going to do this. We're always like, what does the guest want to eat now? Fine dining's taken a little bit of a back seat, and this is coming up, and more casual places are in. Like, it's the same conversation that I think we've been having. But, it'd have been nice to, like, again, we came at this with a business plan based on a certain set of values that we thought the neighborhood would be into. And now that's changed. And so I do think chefs are very adaptable. I think our mindset's always been about what the guest wants and what we think they'll obviously purchase or whatever, what kind of experience they're looking for. But, I think that it does have a lot to do with that subset of what's the community looking for right now. I think you got that.
I like the conversation because there is that tug of war a little bit, and it's gonna be indelible. It's gonna stick in my mind. Kelly, you saying there's a little of that control that I just don't want to give back because I have that right now. And I think there are going to be those confines of, like, you can pull us as owner operators in many, many directions, and we're going to try and pivot as much as we can to the community of people that are supporting us. But there's got to be that little understanding for you guys. There just has to be. And I'm going to get pissed off if people start going in and yelping stuff. I will lose my mind if people get out there and start reviewing and criticizing people because it's not up to what their expectations are. There's going to have to be some kind of leniency in dining right now. Don't you think?
I do. I was going to say, we've gotten a couple of complaints, and I think they were both viable as we were trying to figure out how to open 4 restaurants in a week. And they were probably the nicest complaints I've ever received, though. I mean, it's like at least, 10 apologies. Like, we're so sorry. We know but we just wanted to bring it to your attention. We love you. We're going to order next week. So right now, at least, the complaints are a little nicer. We'll see if that sticks. But yeah, it's going to be around.
Yeah. These are 2 chefs that really, really care about relationships and doing business with folks that you kind of create your own supply chain. Within your ethos. And I'll just give it to both of you there. More important than ever, having those relationships but maintaining them. Kelly, you got that glow to you right now. You got some tan because you were out there doing some relationship stuff. But talk about some of the relationships that you're leaning on right now to kind of make sure that you have the things that you need and you're doing business with the right people.
I love... one of the other advantages I was going to say about our ordering system is that, every, Costco and stuff is like, oh, you can buy 1 bag of this or whatever I saw the other day. And there's a scarcity around proteins right now. So, we've been able to work with some of our purveyors, knowing that my menu is done on Thursday the week before. So I pre-order because I already know what I'm selling, when I'm selling it, how I'm selling it for the week next. And that's a real interesting thing. Because I'm first in line over a lot of other restaurants. And, then you're looking at subbing out commodity or doing these other things. But no, we're doing a pop-up this weekend with Bramble and Hare. We've been inviting some bartenders in because, bars have been hit pretty hard that haven't been able to sell food or whatever the restrictions. It's been a little bit less choices. And I was like, well, and I really didn't plan this, but I just invited one in. It was like Run for the Roses and Steven, and then Jungle was like, and Boulder was like, hey, we'll do this. And then we did Rhino Yacht Club. And this weekend we're doing Bramble. But yeah, I just was like, oh, I'm going to go out and check in on Spokane and see, I'm popping up Bramble. So let's go see what he has for produce. It was interesting to hear his stuff, and I know you're asking me about, what relationships I value, but some of these farms are doing really, really well. So, and, you're almost afraid to talk about it. You're like, want to celebrate it, because the Boulder Farmers Market hasn't activated. And it's real nice to hear, I think, that he's selling his proteins faster than ever. And he as soon as he, processes, and all of his meat's gone immediately. And so, yeah, I'm kind of burnt because Spokane will talk as long as I will. Further, I'm like, he may talk more than me. I don't know. It's a definitely competition, but he hearing about him selling this and how he's doing on grains and what he's selling it for. And so I value as always, but I think it's more than ever. And I said this the other day, we changed a lot of our menu items two names of people like Clint Buckner, Oxford Farms, Christian Tui, and I've always supported farms since we've opened, obviously from day one, but I've always said I don't want to push that down our guests' throat. And right now, since I am unable to talk to our guests, like our servers are unable to say, yeah, this is Oxford spinach or whatever, I've changed my menus to reflect that. So I think we're more than ever, it's got us thinking about, that sort of supply chain. So I value those people around me, obviously value family, and value our teams right now, our home office, who, two that have never gone off our payroll, Tailor and Lee, who are just absolutely running this company right now, and being able to be like, to keep up with, like, today I want to go right, tomorrow I want to go left. So, I mean, those types of, you really find out what people are worth, and they're just worth more than I could pay them right now at all. So I think that's where we're placing most of the value around us, and that supply chain, our teams, who's coming back, who's not,
Mm-hmm. I think it's perfectly acceptable to celebrate local relationships and community right now. On the national level, the food chain disgusts me on a national level. I'm so glad that there's a magnifying glass on what we can do locally and how we can support people that are doing the right things and ethical things with animals and with their farming practices as well. So if there's a silver lining, I think that's one of them. Is to celebrate supporting local. Brother, you do that. You've been doing that since Jump Street, supporting local.
I mean, it's part of our module. These are the people that support us, and our jobs as chefs is to not screw up what they did. I mean,
true that.
Simple. Our lamb rancher down outside Pueblo, Mary from Triple M Bar. I mean, first thing we're calling is like, what do you got in your freezer? Because I know you can't hit the markets anymore and product there. So, what can we farm and get to our customers? We've got customers that are looking for us to take home. Those are the important things that we can be doing as businesses with our curbside is, promoting those. We got a spice guy down here, and it's like, people that want spices. We got, we're not, we want to get hit.
Shoot. Brother's connection is, hey, brother, you're going in and out, my man. I don't know if you can move to a different area, but we're catching every other few words from you there. And I want to make sure that we get your voice on with us right now. And just so very, very happy that being recognized. Best Chef Mountain category. James Beard Foundation announced its final nominees. And Carrie Baird, Carolyn Glover, Dana Rodriguez, and Kelly Whitaker. I don't know, Kelly. There might have been a chance that on a national level they just thought you were another one of the gals there with Kelly.
It happens all the time, especially when I'm traveling overseas. I changed my Uber tag to, Mr. Kelly, and that's what I am in both Tokyo and Hong Kong. I'm Mr. Kelly, so
Mr.
yeah,
Kelly.
it's very plausible.
Yeah, I know Kelly's, I know Shannon's, I know. Cool name too. Are you like the second or a junior, Kelly Jr. or anything like that?
No.
Who were you named
Kelly,
after?
I don't know.
You don't
Nobody.
even. Nobody.
It's not. No. It just sounded good,
Sounded good at the time. Hey, show us around dry storage there for a second.
Sure. Let me see if I know how to flip this around.
I've yet to been.
Yeah, so just going in the back of the house. That's where I always start, right?
Yeah.
The crew. Oh, Ollie, Weston.
Hi, guys.
Go. Just working on some. What are you working on? Cinnamon buns. Take and bake.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we just moved. This was our old mill room. As of yesterday, we moved all of our mills. There's Chef Jeff Brickell. Yo, Chef.
Hey, Chef. Good to see you.
So this was where we were doing all of our milling. Yesterday we moved into a 2,500 square foot space. We brought up 40,000 pounds of the grain we co-grew with our farmers, Sarah and Michael Joan, yesterday. So like we're producing breads made from that grain now exclusively. But yeah, it's about a mile and a half from here. I'd love to show you guys sometime the new. So yeah, it looks like a wreck in here right now because we've been kind of in it, but we'll reshape all this. We did have a 40-inch stone mill up here, and now the front is kind of empty. And we're going to merge this out with like a little bit more of a market so people could just kind of step in, buy more goods. We're activating with Christian Tui. He was looking for a place for CSA pickup, so we'll be doing pickups outside. And yeah, we have a nice little patio, and
No doubt. Wow.
I'm gonna take you around. Like, it's a terrible location. I tend to choose really bad locations, but for Boulder, it's out here. Like this is what Boulder looks like today. You got the beautiful Flatirons, and
Oh, yeah.
it's not a bad place to bake some bread and mill some grains.
So you
But
said,
yeah, the milling thing is. What's that?
you said that's about a mile and a half from Boston?
Yeah, so we ended up on Belmont Road in Boulder, and it's pretty exciting, man. Like, we've been working 5 years towards this project and watching this surge of flour and that we talked about last time, just kind of blow up, and people returning to baking. And this is what I'll show you. This is what we do right now. These little 5-pound bags this is all Colorado grown in a regenerative system, the rye flour, the whole wheat, dry storage. And so, yeah, now after 5 years, in the middle of all this, we now have like an actual manufacturing place that, is like a warehouse. I bought a forklift. Pretty stoked. I've never had a forklift.
Where's the forklift at?
It's at the mill.
Nice.
So I can move around pallets of flour and grain, But I have a forklift. I have 18 pallets of, like I said, all heirloom varietal grain that got delivered into Boulder County. I'm not sure that that's happened pre-1950, where that much grain of that type of varietals has entered into Boulder County in that way, like that much. I know the guys down at Grateful Bread, they've always done some awesome stuff with milling and baking and stuff, but it feels like it's very, it feels very right at a time like this when you see empty flour shelves and whatever.
We had on yesterday, who was that, Jay? It was a farm. It was
Cooksey Farms.
The Cooksey Farms in northeastern Colorado, 10,000 acres by Rogan, Colorado. 5 generations of wheat farmers. They were on yesterday. It's cool to get connected to the farmlands. It really brings everything into perspective. That's kind of cool, huh, brother? Get a little look at that. Have you ever been up there?
Yeah. No, I haven't. I need to, get myself back up to Boulder. I don't think I've been to Boulder really since we used to live in Broomfield when we were getting kicked off of Top Chef. So we definitely played around up there while we were stuck in Broomfield.
What's for dinner at the restaurants, guys?
We're making a lot of tacos.
Cinco de Mayo, man. That's what I'm eating tonight. I'm not open today. I'm getting to celebrate. I'm not doing Mother's Day this year, so that's different for us. We usually do a brunch and stuff. My staff was like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, I'm going to go celebrate the mom right now. My wife deserves a lot of credit right now, more credit than probably anyone that I've mentioned today. But yeah, so doing Mother's Day at home, doing tonight, going to get some, I think I'm thinking about like Santos, it's Hosea. Hosea's been feeding me well during this quarantine time when I'm not eating at my own restaurant. So I'm really digging on his food, but I think he's got the margarita 4-pack going tonight or something like that.
Nice.
Maybe it's just a big bottle of mezcal. I have no idea what it is, but I'm going to probably hit him up with some food. But no, Wolf Menu, you guys should eat some food. Let me send you some food this week. It's pretty fire.
Listen,
the Dan Dan noodle is like insane. With all of our grains and stuff, it's one of those dishes. I was like, oh my god, man.
You can order online.
Yeah,
Order
pre-order.
online. We're going to do
Pre-order
that.
only.
Me and Jay will pre-order, and happy to support. Reopen Wolf's Tailor. You can get online. What's the website? Just thewolfstailor.com?
Yeah, the Wolf's Tailor. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. Brother, how about you? What's going on? You doing Mother's Day?
Yeah, we're talking about doing just out of 4. We're probably gonna be doing some take home wine pairings. Figure mom needs a drink.
Yes, she does.
So yeah, we're looking at that, and Lucky, we're just gonna be doing like take home kits. I'm probably gonna do like a live dumpling class. I'm thinking Saturday, so we're gonna be selling like take home kits for the class, so people can pinch dumplings at home with the family. And yeah, I mean it's crazy. Today would have been our 3-year anniversary here at 4. And it's kind of a bummer not to have the big celebration like we normally would have had. It is what it is. It's the times we live in.
You give me and Kelly.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
Congratulations, Chef. Good job, man. I mean, I know it's weird, but
3 years.
It's still more. 3 years is still pretty good in the restaurant business right now, man.
Yeah,
and even stranger to see it come out of this, but congrats anyway.
No, it's been insane. We started our first restaurant 7 years ago, and we opened this one up 3 years ago, and it's been a roller coaster. And when I kind of look back and reflect on all the memories, the good, the bad, we just keep fighting, But it's the team and the community that keep us going. And when I'm feeling down and out and feeling just beat down after talking with my accountant or bookkeeper or lawyer and trying to figure out everything that's going on, you come in and your team they lift you up, your community lifts you up every time.
You told me it was the golf course that did that.
I mean, that definitely helps.
Yeah.
That definitely helps.
Yes, it does.
It was beautiful. And it's so funny because even on the golf courses, I mean, my wife and I went and played and they were like, you guys can't ride together. And she's like, we live together.
I know.
They're practicing it as well. So it's affecting everyone. It's not just our industry.
It's a weird sci-fi movie we're living in. Chef Whitaker, man, congratulations. All 4 of them. I'm happy with any of you guys getting it. Absolutely. What a lineup.
I am too. And better stay in Colorado though. Let's keep it home.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I'll be 100% supportive of any one of them getting it. It's a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for your time today. Anything you want to leave the audience with? Last time you burnt it down at the end there. You got another barn burner for us?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
No, I'm stoked that I was on the phone today with Bradley, and I love hearing from you, man. Congrats again.
Thank you, dude.
I'll just say, keep your head up. You want to cook. My wife is from Sea Springs, so I love coming down there. I'll go wherever. But as we're digging out of this, hit me up, dude. Let's cook.
Yeah.
Let's do something fun. Let's figure something out and rise up together. You know what I mean? So it's nice seeing
absolutely.
your face today, dude.
Yeah, we down surviving, man. I love it in Colorado Springs. This is like one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to, and we settled out here in 05, and it's crazy how much this place has taken off, and getting to follow in the footsteps of Denver and Boulder, and really getting to set a tone of what the expectation is for Colorado food in general. I think Colorado Springs has done some cool stuff, just like Grand Junction with Josh, and it's great to see our whole state come together right now.
Yeah, let's call Josh, man. We'll meet in the middle. We'll come see you, and I'd love to cook with him right now too. So there's a lot of you that I want to chef dinners. I miss chef dinners, dude. But there's gonna be a time. So like I said, we'll take a rain check on the 3-year anniversary. I'll come down there for sure and throw down and have some fun with you, dude. So yeah, keep your head up, bro.
If we could all meet at Gray Wolf Resort, get Josh to get that would be something else. We got to turn you on to Gray Wolf Resort sometime.
They got phenomenal pigs. Their pigs are insane. They're so good.
I love it. Thanks, Chef Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Love you, brother.
Yeah. Talk soon.
Yeah, see you. Brother, you stick around for a minute here. Friday, we got a big day coming up. Got to put that. What are you going to wear? What are you going to wear, brother, on Friday?
Thinking a hula hoop, cowboy hats, and some boots.
Oh, man, I would pay for
Yep.
that. I would pay for that. Do you own cowboy boots?
No.
I didn't think so. I was trying.
I'm gonna borrow Phillips though.
Yes, get Phillips from 291.
Uh-huh.
So here it is. Friday, we're going to step off smartly at 2 p.m. We'll be down here with Kevin Galaba, bartender, you and Carrie, and then there'll be Hazel Miller in studio with us, and then, of
She can
course,
sing.
me and Jay. Yeah, she can sing. We'll be holding it down in here. We're going to cook. We're going to drink. We're going to have fun. But most of all, we're going to spread awareness for the Angel Relief Fund. And here's what's cool. You know, a lot of people, they go with their organizations, and fundraisers are fundraisers. And you got to have your hand out and you say, please help support us. But check out this. They've got $1,600,000 in a fund. They just recently got $1 million from the Kemper family to activate this relief money right away. So it's folks that are in the business, hospitality, but there are some folks that are undocumented and work in kitchens and work really hard that can't apply for any kind of federal relief. The Angel Relief Fund, they'll take their application and they'll activate those funds and get some help out to those people. So not only are we going to be telling people to help participate with them, we're going to spread the word and say, we've got $1 million that we need to activate. Let's do it now and spread the word. So we're going to be doing some cool stuff on Friday, man.
Yeah, I'm in.
It's going to be good. What time are you going to get up here? If we start at 2, can we get you at 11?
Oh man. It's gonna interfere in my prep time.
I know your talent, man. I guess 155.
That sounds more appropriate.
Okay, 155. Brother, we love you. Thanks, man. I mean, every time you pick up the phone, I'm just amazed. But you're a friend of ours, and we really appreciate that. We love you so much.
No, I love everything you guys do. You guys have been rocking with me before any type of recognition. You know, always down to support you guys. If people aren't listening to the Modern Eater and they're in the hospitality business, they're missing out.
Thank you, man.
This is, you know, to the source. It is the first scoop. It is the live cut. You guys are on top of everything. So, you know, if you want local and you want to know about what's happening, listen to the Modern Eater Show.
Mark that, Jay, immediately. You can't take that back. Brother, thanks for the sound clip. And actually, just to full transparency, you put me through the Tina test once. And if you make it through the Tina test and you come out on the other side and she gives you the thumbs up, you're a cool person, then that's when I got jumped in other words. Let's just say that.
Yeah. She knows people, man, and she's got an eye for it. I trust that woman more than anything.
She's it, man. Happy anniversary, brother. Next year's will be a lot better. We'll blow it out. Hey, I don't know whether you know this or not. Who was with you on your last anniversary?
I don't know.
Me at your bar with the show. We brought the broadcast down there.
Damn, that's crazy. It's been a year.
Uh-huh.
I can't keep up with it.
I know, man. We love you to death. We'll kill it on Friday. Gonna have some fun. And Brother Luck will be up here with Chef Kerry Baird, man, bringing back the band.
Yo, James Beard nominees everywhere.
All around you. That's right. Okay, we'll see you Friday, brother.
All right.
There he is, Brother Luck. Cool, man. What a great show so far. Kelly Whitaker, just to congratulate him and James Beard Foundation finalist nomination. Right now, Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions. A-Plus Beverage Solutions cleaning out draft lines everywhere right now because they got to get you ready. Family-owned and operated business. He'll actually add a line while your restaurant or bar is down. You might want to do that. Take him up on it. A beer, wine, water, coffee, nitro. It's one of those things to where the craft brewer wants their beer to taste just like they brewed it. And if you're pouring inefficient beer, what are you doing, Jay?
You're pouring your dinero down the drain.
Don't pour your money down the drain. It's a phone call away. He's offering $10 or is that right? $10 per line. I almost had to stop myself.
Freak out.
He'll clean out your line, $10 per line. A+ Beverage Solutions. Jeff Rourke, 720-272-3809. 720-272-3809. It's Jeff Rourke and A+ Beverage Solutions. Here it is. I've been looking forward to this one all afternoon, and we got the guys here with us, Dave Thibodeau and Steve Breesley. It's Ska Brewing Company. We've got the co-founder, and we've got the COO on with us right now. What's up, guys?
Hey, Greg. How are you?
Good to see you. Steve, we got your voice?
You got me here. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no doubt. This is going to be cool. First of all, let me promote this. What are you guys going to name this podcast? Because I'm going to be your number one fan coming up here.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's going to be a regular thing.
You got to make it a regular thing.
I mean, Dave and I drink Mexican lagers together pretty regularly, so we probably could do it.
I'm telling you, it's got to be like Dave and the Breeze, you know? You sit down, crack a beer, be at ease. Right now, it's time for Dave and the Breeze.
We're social distancing. We got a wall between us, too, so it's perfect.
All right, so let's set this up. Today at 4 p.m., all you have to do is click over to Ska Brewing Company's Facebook page, and there you will see Dave and Steve, and they're going to have a good time spending about a half an hour, 45 minutes, talking about what's the subjects today, guys?
Mexican lager and Cinco de Mayo.
Why wouldn't it be? And we're going to get a little bit of taste of that on the Modern Eater stream right now. So without further ado, we're doing a test run, right? Because when 4 p.m. comes, it's going to be the professional run. There's going to be no errors at all.
I don't know about that. I think... we just figured now would be a good time to actually sit and chat with you. It's Cinco de Mayo. I'm sorry I missed I was stressing out about the technicalities of this whole. There's too many things happening with video and audio here.
Not anymore. We got you.
And when we're drinking Mexican lager, we're trying to get there, trying to figure it all out. We kind of we didn't really put together any sort of an agenda. So I figured now. Let's talk with you about
that's free flow.
Cinco de Mayo and maybe why it's a misunderstood holiday and how it became such a beer drinking thing in the United States.
Oh yeah,
and how we recognize that, but we're still perpetuating it ourselves, probably.
We are just like St. Patrick's Day, right?
Right.
So many of these holidays that us Americans love to grab onto. But I don't know. Take it away. Give that history of the Cinco de Mayo holiday. Who has it? The gringo version.
Well, there's some. Okay, so you at some point in time, the liquor companies decided that this was an awesome thing for them to exploit for dollars, and you've seen it in the beer commercials and such over the years, but. I don't know, Breeze, you have some of those ridiculous questions that are the most searched on the internet when it comes to Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, CNN listed some of the funniest questions asked, and 3 variations were, when is Cinco de Mayo? But they were different variations. When is Cinco de Mayo in Mexico? When is Cinco de Mayo in the U.S.? And when is Cinco de Mayo in Portland, Oregon? So apparently, I'm from Portland, so I kind of take offense to that. But they were pretty good questions. And that sums up most of the U.S.'s understanding of this holiday.
What does Cinco de Mayo mean in Spanish?
Yeah. Or how do you say Cinco de Mayo in Spanish? I think that was yeah.
All fair questions, right?
Yeah.
All fair. And those are the top Google searches, right? I was looking myself on Google to see what comes up. As far as top ones, what is Cinco de Mayo? What is Cinco de Mayo? Here it is right here.
Well, it's, in the United States, I think the biggest misunderstanding is that it's a celebration of Mexican Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
And the celebration of the end of the Mexican War of Independence, which is actually in September. Cinco de Mayo, obviously the 5th of May. That was another question. What does it have to do with mayonnaise? What? But anyways, when, to kind of get us to the history of the beers that in Mexico now, and to bring us to the Mexican lager that we've been making here at Ska for a long time. When to kind of get to where the European beer tradition actually started to become a really big influence in Mexico, you have to get to the mid 1800s, 1861, when Napoleon III decided to invade Mexico along with the Americans and the Spanish, because they were really starting to get afraid of. They wanted to throw some of their dominance around there, and then the Americans, it looked like their power was becoming a little bit too extreme. So with the help of like some wealthy landowners, the French are the only ones that stayed there, and then Napoleon III brought over the Emperor Maximilian I to run Mexico. And Breeze, if you want to kind of take it from there, why there's beer involved.
He was from the House of Habsburg in Austria, and he actually everywhere he went, he brought a set of brewers with him to make beer, and so when they got to Mexico, he had brewers with him, and that was really the start of kind of the Vienna style lager making its way to Mexico. Soon after that, one of the largest of the two kind of major breweries that really sprung up in Mexico started up, and Dave can pronounce it better than me. Cuauhtémoc.
Cerveceria Cuauhtémoc.
Yeah, and that brewery became famous for Bohemia, which you might know, but also for Dos Equis. And that was really one of the best Vienna lagers that was known. It wasn't known as Dos Equis then. It was actually a beer that was made by a brewer named Wilhelm Haas, another German-Austrian. And he wanted to celebrate the coming 20th century, so he I think it was called Siglo XX, and so then it became known as the two X's, Dos Equis. But that was kind of the advent of the Vienna lager in Mexico, and really that style kind of took off and was pretty strong for a while. But then, kind of like just like the rest of Europe, things like Munich Dunkels and Viennas and some of the different styles kind of just fell to the wayside as pale lagers kind of became more and more popular. But I think it's still fun to look back at those Vienna styles. Definitely down there.
How would you? So the migration of that style. So would that have come from a more traditional kind of German beer, or which beer am I looking for here?
Yeah,
out of the Hausgebot. So
yeah, it was definitely. I mean, while the advent was in Vienna, Vienna was essentially mimicking everything that was happening in Bavaria at the time. And so, it was all Reinheitsgebot, all German malts. In fact, I think in Mexico, they actually had some strong tariffs on using local ingredients, and they actually were making them import ingredients from Europe. And it's one of the other reasons why German beer styles kind of took off, because they were limiting some of the alcohol production in Mexico via other ingredients. But so, it was all German malts, things like Munich malts, Vienna malts, really nice toasted, lightly kiln malts that kind of accentuate those beer styles. And so still one of my favorites too. I mean, I have to say, I drink a lot of our beers, obviously, and a lot of craft beers, but I still love drinking Negra Modelo when I'm out getting Mexican food.
I think a lot of people do too, and it's just that more refreshing and truly the Mexican lagers have that beachside feel to them. That lighter beachside feel to them.
You sound like eerily like a Corona commercial, Greg. So careful there.
I know, very careful. But I like so there is born and when was the Ska Mexican lager born and released?
We actually, this is pretty interesting because you've seen the rise in the style in the last couple of years really, really take off. 3-4 years ago, it really started to blow up. But we actually started brewing this beer in 1999. Wow. And we got ourselves, what the deal was, kind of the story was that we were, I mean, in all honesty, we were closet Pacifico drinkers. And we would show up to festivals. We'd have Pacificos in our van, and we'd drink Pacificos between our shifts, volunteering and serving our beer. And we felt really guilty about that.
You should have.
I know, we really did, and it was really frowned upon at the time. People have, there's a much wider demographic, and although there's some beer geeks and some super snobby people out there, at the time, the brewers were a pretty snobby group. And so we kind of hid from it. And then one day we were just like, this is completely silly. Let's just make our own. Mm-hmm. And it took, it's grown every year since we started in 99. And it took quite a few years to really take off, but it satisfied that need for us. And I think it's, it's shown to have some legs over the course of the years, but it's done well for us.
Has it gathered some hardware?
It has gathered some hardware, and it's a couple recent GABF medals and an international style Pilsner. So it's and now it's kind of the official start to spring. So I really appreciate you letting us do this too, because we usually have a kickoff party with it in Durango, and it's kind of down here. It's people really look forward to it as an event, and obviously with COVID, we couldn't have that event, and it's kind of the unofficial start of spring down here, and a day that really everybody starts to crawl out of their homes and get after it. And it's the beer that marks the summer.
I'll tell you what, 4:00, we're going to dig into it. And not only that, you're going to talk more about it. You guys have your Mexican lagers near you. I kind of feel a little yep, you sure do. There it is. It's so recognizable. The green can. What hat are you wearing, Dave?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not the Modern Eater hat. I thought it was the Modern Eater hat.
Well, it's got the same colors as the Mexican lager can, so I thought
look at that.
Maybe that it...
Look at this nifty dry bag that I keep my Mexican lagers in.
Yes, you do. Okay, 4:00, guys. We'll be back, and it'll be the Dave and Steve show. We'll be Dave and Breezy or Dave and Breeze?
Breeze.
Dave and Breeze. All right, cool breeze. We'll see you guys at 4:00.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
See you
Take
guys.
care.
Cool. Always fun to catch up with Dave Thibodeau and Scott Brewing Company. That's a good time. Who's coming up now?
We've got Tim Downey from...
this is a good one.
Yeah.
I want to cue this up if I could and play a little something off of my computer. So Tim Downey coming up right now. And Tim is a gentleman that we came across a news piece. And this is a Channel 7 news piece, so thank you to Channel 7. Tim Downey is the owner-operator of Windsor Mill Tavern. That's in Windsor, Colorado, and subsequently in Weld County, Colorado. As you may or may not know, Weld County has kind of said, you know what? Here's half a peace sign. We're going to do our own thing, and we're going to start opening back up businesses, much to the chagrin on a state level, to where they say, no, hang on a minute. There could be consequences. So without further ado, here's this Channel 7 piece.
Good evening. I'm Kathy Walsh. Thank you for joining us. Monday, many cities will begin the safer at home phase of the coronavirus pandemic. As of April 27th, retailers can reopen with curbside pickup. Real estate can be shown one-on-one, but no open houses are allowed. On May 1st, personal services like salons, dog groomers, personal trainers, and tattoo parlors will be allowed to work. Now, one big industry is still seeing a lot of uncertainty, and that's restaurants. The state hasn't set a date for when restaurants can let people dine in, but in Weld County, a commissioner says any business can reopen starting on Monday as long as the owners follow precautions. CBS 4's Dylan Thomas has been following this story for days. And Dylan, restaurant owners aren't sure who to listen to right now.
Kathy, business was booming for the past few months here at the Windsor Mill Tavern before COVID-19. But now, like many others, this restaurateur is stuck between a county that's telling him to open and a governor that's telling him not so fast.
It took the wind out of the sails, and we're ready to start sailing.
As the sun sets on the governor's stay-at-home order.
It's a sad reminder when I come to work that, Yeah, people are missing. These chairs, they're empty, but I can see the faces that sat in them.
Tim Downey is ready to reopen the Windsor Mill Tavern.
We're ready to go.
It's been more than a month since he had to let go nearly his entire staff, but finally a glimmer of hope as Weld County commissioners said businesses could reopen on Monday, the day after the governor's stay-at-home order expires.
You try to quell your excitement that there's a day coming.
But then Governor Polis threatened to suspend or revoke liquor licenses to restaurants who open before the state permits.
Local government plays a role and state government plays a role. Our liquor license is held by the state. By no means would we want to risk that. It was tough to know that there's people out there that are ready to go, and then there's people out there that aren't. And I get that, I guess. It's just tough being on the yo-yo portion of that.
Though Downey says his restaurant will continue to follow state regulations to protect their license,
I think it is time. At some point, we have to get moving.
That's that piece, and I believe it was Channel 7. So thank you very much. Clip that from there. I haven't been, but what a beautiful location. And you see that in the piece that we just watched there. It's Windsor Mill Tavern. Next time I'm in Windsor, I will make the stop. I'll see Tim Downey, and we'll check in with him right now. Welcome to the Modern Eater stream. Tim Downey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Greg?
Good to see you. Okay, let's dig in just a little bit. So a few of the pieces in that news piece was any business could reopen, says the commissioner. Now, true or false?
Well, I think they had good intentions in my mind. But false, I think, when your liquor license is held by the state and the threats kind of come down even to an individual business level. So it's hard. It's like I mentioned, it's hard being on that yo-yo of leadership and information that comes out in many different areas that seem to contradict each other.
Yeah, the levee's got to break at some point, and business needs to resume. You were ready to resume, and if I look behind you there, it didn't happen.
No, it's still empty. It's as empty as it is on the day that the news was in, and it's true. That's what we're missing. We're missing the people of the community they're awesome. They're supporting us through takeout and keeping our lights on and helping me pay some awesome staff that has come in and helped us kind of limp through this period. But man, yeah, it's the people that are gonna struggle if this goes on much longer.
Yeah, no business, no restaurant is alike. They all have different nuances as far as seating, how much space you have, patio space, the size of the kitchen, what you're doing now as far as curbside or delivery. There's so many different variables of what would take to get back at it and reopen, but you were ready to take that running start even with limited capacity. So how many seats do you have in your restaurant, and what would that model look like inside of your restaurant if indeed the doors were open today?
Gotcha. Well, that's two different questions, right? And we have about 150 seats inside. We just got our brand new patio furniture for the summer. We're kind of switching from a winter mode where everybody was kind of around the fireplace where that set 12 to now more of a dining mode to where that'll seat 24. So we're upwards close to 170 seats. So that's the answer to one of your questions. I think the answer to your other question is what would that look like? I think no one knows, right? We need guidance. I've talked with people that the groups of 10 comment that is out there that, I mean, there's a salon that's darn near as big as us at 5,000 square feet, and literally they're allowing 10 people in.
Well, you say guidance, and again, Tim Downey joins us, Windsor Mill Tavern. He's in Windsor, Colorado, which is in Weld County. On a national level, the National Restaurant Association put out this, I don't know, I think it's 10 pages of COVID-19 reopening guidance, exactly what you were looking for there. I don't know whether you had an opportunity to kind of flip through it a little bit, but a lot of it's what you're already doing. You're Serve Safe certified and having someone there at all times, and food safety, cleaning, sanitation, employee health monitoring, and personal hygiene, social distancing. You get into the guts of this thing, and it really starts getting into those speculatory nuances. That's where it gets real good, right? You start to speculate on what the experience will be for your customer. And I think that those nuances are left to your own device, except for the physical distancing and seats, tables being 6 feet apart and what that'll look like. But I think it's this point in time is your ingenuity and your entrepreneurial spirit and your smarts of what you will and will not do in order to sacrifice experience is about as good as you're going to be able to do inside the confines, the hallways of your restaurant there. So with that being said, it's going to look like masks on your employees. It's going to look like as much minimal touch as possible. I don't know what you'll do with your menus, if you've got an idea of what you're going to do with that. But those are the things that you're going to have to cover internally. And I was hoping to brainstorm with you a little bit to see if you had any of those things in place to where there might be some other owner-operators watching to see if there's something that they could pick up from you.
Sure. No, those are great guidelines, right? And the restaurant business in general is a pretty, if it's operated well, is a pretty healthy and pretty clean, sanitized place anyway.
Should
right?
be the best of the best. Yep.
Could be. And so it's interesting that we're kind of, I guess, spotlighted in this whole shutdown thing as being a potential danger zone. But no, we've considered, and we will probably use probably single serve menus to start at least, so that they're thrown away at the end of each dining experience, and that's one option. We have hope that we can bounce out of this, and some people start making some decisions that help restaurants out. But we have a menu redesign coming with some fun things that a new menu items as well. But that's just to reiterate my hope. So yeah, hand sanitizer stations, just installed 2 today. That took about a month and a half.
For employees or guests?
Well, these are for guests.
Nice.
I have hand sanitizer in the back for employees. Again, this has been something that every operator is really probably struggling with in a lot of ways. Was that the product is out there, but just really hard to get a hold of.
Let's look around your restaurant as you're talking, just so we can kind of get a feel of what you have to work with. And then seating as well. Are you going to reconfigure your dining room?
Well, we're not going to reconfigure because, as you can see, we're in the Windsor Mill, the old Windsor Mill. This burnt down. I wish I could. Here, let me see if I can flip it a little bit better.
So cool. So you're in just the belly of the mill there, huh? Yeah,
it's like a garden level basement. It's awesome. This space that we're in right now was built in 1890. So these massive wooden beams and this rock, this survived a couple catastrophes. It survived a 2008 tornado, and then the building kind of sat vacant for a number of years, and then started to be rebuilt. And then an arsonist lit it on fire in 2017, and it went up pretty quickly. But our area that the tavern is survived that fire as well. So it's awesome. We have a very unique and cool space. But as you can see, we have a lot of built-in booths and a lot of our tables that are attached to these beams. So reconfiguring, not going to be super possible for us. Obviously, figuring out how to distance people will be relatively easy. We can pull some chairs and do things like that. But yeah, we're in a fantastic space, and that's why, again, blessed that we're being supported through takeout and that type of stuff. But we're all about people, and we're all about the coolness of our space, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what's missing.
Ah, man, it's heartbreaking because here it is, a beautiful spring day. You got the doors open there. One of the things I think you're got going for you is an abundance of space, but one thing I think might be limited to you is how confined it seems in there. I don't know how that will translate to a customer coming back in for the first time, and I think you're probably going to just have to play that by ear, huh?
I agree. People are going to need to make up their decision in their mind about their comfort level in here. It is a kind of a fashioned off an old time tavern, so it's tight and it's fun and it was a fantastic 5 months. Again, we'll do what's necessary and what's needed in order to keep the business alive and keep it operating. My fear, I know a number of other operators and owners, is that we really limp into this thing and that we're really kind of handcuffed and operating at a percent that really is more like a slow death than help, right? So that's the tough part.
Absolutely. And I'm hoping that it'll be a meld between what's working right now with curbside and delivery with you being able to open up your dining rooms. And you said you were in operation for 5 months before the shutdowns?
Yeah, 5 months. We were about 2 months away from opening before before the building was set on fire. So to regroup and replan and keep the hope and for a couple years and then get open and it's like
man,
this is like a slow burn versus how fast the building went up the first time.
Holy cow, man, that breaks my heart. I mean, truly, it's like you just can't get the momentum that you need. And here's what my hope is, that you get to look back on this, and it's just one of those things you can chuckle at. You know, it took us a little while to get started, but, boy, we sure did, and generations to come that you're in there. As they say, all things will pass, and you know, why wouldn't this pass as well? I think that really honorable of you wanting to get back at it and the state showing you that they can flex their muscle and, threaten you with taking away your liquor license. I can't help but have done the same thing. And then there's also liability and safety, you know, those two little things of you don't want anybody to say they got sick at your location because then you're shut down for quite some time. So we're going to check back in with you. We'll watch the progress. We'll see what you do there, but I'm rooting for you over here, my friend.
Hey, we appreciate that. And again, there's nothing more important to us than our guest safety either, right? So we've done things right from the beginning. I've worked for people who have done things right and believe in that. And so we will do what's necessary. But at some point, people have to get moving. And I think this business and this industry, again, if we wait too long, I'm reading something that they're predicting about 30% of restaurants will go out of business by year's end anyway. So,
God, it would break my heart. And to see Main Street, and we don't know what the carnage is, but man, if I get up to Windsor in the next year or two and that's an Olive Garden, I'm going to lose my mind.
We appreciate it. Can't wait to have you in here and enjoy a beer.
We'll be at your doorstep, that's for sure. Tim Downey, the Windsor Mill Tavern. Thanks for your time today, Tim.
Appreciate you. Thanks,
You got it. No doubt. Whew, that's what we're seeing right now, and we're going to be jumping all around. Hopefully we can get into a restaurant in Atlanta soon. Boy, we got everybody here. This is what is going on? All right, that makes sense. We've got you both at the same time here today. I love it.
Am I early? Am I late? What?
Yeah, we're early, late, and everything else. Happy Cinco de Mayo, you guys.
Back at you. Who helped Larry with his background there? That's nice.
Larry, who helped?
Green screen. I'm in the green room.
I love it. Your built-in green screen room worked out for you there.
That's a good green screen, too.
Pretty
Is that
good for an old man, huh?
That's really cool.
That is really cool. Now, if you could just get them to play me a song, I'll really lose it.
You got to tip them.
I can. Well, they're in the wrong room then, aren't they, Larry?
I knew that was coming.
Well, we got some stuff to cover. Okay, Cinco de Mayo. Seemingly everything's good right now. How's your day, Doctor? Dr. Sara Metz?
It's good. It's busy. I'm assuming everyone's in that same boat as things are starting to ramp up. So is a lot of busy Busyness. A lot of mental health stuff. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. So
What does that look like? What Mental Health Awareness Month? Shouldn't we be aware of that all the time? But it is good to have recognition for it.
I would say we should have that all the time, but I think, having some special recognition and helping people at least set their intention this month of really looking at and assessing their mental health and what are they doing to take care of it. And especially this year, we've got really stressful times. And so it's a really good opportunity for people to say, how are you taking care of yourself so you can manage this?
Is there a checklist? I need a checklist.
There are a lot of different checklists for whatever your ailment is. But I think right now, especially this month, I think that there are 3 areas that I would love to see people really assessing. And it's the 3 S's.
Uh-oh.
It's sleep, it's substance abuse. So happy Cinco de Mayo. I'll be the downer.
Yeah.
And the other downer is suicide.
Yes.
And so it's about looking at those 3 and saying, how is your sleep? What are you doing to manage your sleep? How is your substance use? Is it within a range that's sustainable and still healthy? And have you had any suicidal thoughts? And normalizing that conversation and helping people realize that's an okay conversation to have. And it's actually more, quote unquote, normal than people realize to have the thought of feeling so overwhelmed that they've considered suicide. Now, what we want is to make sure that we get people into treatment and get them support before that becomes a behavioral option for them. But having those thoughts simply means that you are overwhelmed. And a lot of people can actually remember a time when they have felt so overwhelmed, if a truck hit them, they wouldn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
So this month especially, and because of so much going on, we want people to look at those 3 and get a sense of how are they doing those 3 areas.
Yeah, and I think really you have to address those couple of things first. You need to look at your sleep hygiene, as I've learned sleep hygiene from you. You have to look at these things that create that stability that could bring you to that point of no return, right?
Yeah, and I think people often laugh off the issue of sleep and say, I sleep 3 or 4 hours a night and I've always slept that, that's all I've ever gotten. And they don't realize that's chronic sleep debt, and that adds up over time, and it leads to depression and anxiety and physical issues and all sorts of other things. So really addressing sleep. Anytime I have a new client at Code 4, we address sleep. We look at sleep. We really look at what their sleep hygiene is and see what we can do to improve that. And when you improve your sleep, a lot of other things start to be easier to address.
Larry, you look like you sleep like a baby, man, don't you?
What? I was sleeping, sorry. What?
Take a nap whenever you can.
How's your sleep, Larry?
It's probably one of my best attributes. I am a phenomenal sleeper. I am very gifted at it.
Is that the
I go
sign
to bed at
of
the same time every night for the last 20 years and wake up at the same time every night, every morning.
Nice.
12 to 7.
That's good. That's a decent amount. Right there, you're right. You're on the edge, but as long as you're getting 7 to 9 hours is what we want. But if you're getting your 7 hours, you're
If you're getting 7 good ones, 7 straight.
Yeah, good quality hours. Yeah.
I'm never tired.
Do you have a TV in your bedroom, Larry?
My wife goes to bed a couple hours before me, so she falls asleep with the TV on, and I watch TV in the man cave, and then when I come upstairs, I can't turn it on. So I go to bed at midnight, and I'm asleep by 12:01, 12:02.
Damn you.
Somewhere around there.
But what Larry has is a solid routine, and your system is so used to that routine, it just knows to go into, all right, it's time to sleep.
What's funny about that is, I was in the restaurant business for my whole life, and, I worked nights, and so that was my rhythm. My energy was great at night, and not certainly a morning person. Still not really great in the mornings. And I switched careers to a job I had to be at 8 in the morning, and I thought for sure I would start going to bed earlier, but I was never able to make that transition, and it's totally fine going to bed still at midnight, and waking up at 7, I still get to work at 8.
And it works for you.
Hey, doctor, how about sometimes too much sleep? You feel, kind of in that sleep state.
Yeah, and you can get too much sleep. That's why they really say 7 to 9 hours is the good zone. If you're getting too much sleep, then we start to wonder, well, are you actually getting good quality sleep, or are you just kind of getting spurts of sleep? and it's never, you feel tired all the time because you're never getting good solid sleep, which is why sleep and substance abuse kind of are so linked. Is a lot of people will drink to get to sleep because, their mind is going crazy. And so they try to drink to get themselves to sleep. And then they have crappy quality of sleep because alcohol in your system makes it so you don't get REM sleep. And REM sleep is such an important kind of sleep that you're getting. And so those people then tend to sleep more because they're never getting good quality.
I just wish I didn't have to wake up all night and drink water and then subsequently have to use the restroom.
You don't do that. Stop drinking water an hour or so before bed.
I know, but I'm thirsty.
Get a humidifier. That's because your room is too dry.
It is. So dry.
Do you drink alcohol before bed?
I don't really drink. I don't really drink during the week right now. Like Saturday night, I'll have a little something here at the kitchen, but throughout the week, and it's just because I don't think I'm metabolizing booze like I used to. Something.
No, you're not.
I'm not. Okay, thanks, Larry. Dr.
No,
Larry.
You can't drink. That's why there's a saying, I can't drink like I used to.
Yeah.
You can't.
And I'm not, so I just stay away right now. You're right. All of those things need to be addressed in this month in particular. So, folks that want to address these things and they know that they're going to uncover a monster underneath there, how do you deal with how do you find a professional when you really don't have the resources for one?
So that's a good question. There's some that take Medicaid, Medicare. There's community mental health clinics that offer sometimes really super reduced rates. Oftentimes those are community mental health clinics that are attached to a college. So they're clinicians in training, but they are supervised. They have good training already. And they offer oftentimes free counseling. So the University of Denver has the Professional Psychology Clinic, and they offer free or incredibly reduced therapy to the community. So anyone can access that clinic and get therapy basically for free because they're clinicians in training, so they need clinical hours. And so they offer that service basically for free.
Should you avoid friend clinics or
that's not therapy? Yeah.
Don't do friend therapy.
No, go to a true professional if the issues are really significant. You really need, friends are helpful. It's a support system, but sometimes the emotions get too intertwined, and it's hard to get real therapeutic advice from a friend.
Yeah. No, I agree. What day is today? It's Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday and it's Cinco de Mayo. Let's talk some food. Restaurant tours. Larry, do the setup. I want to show a little bit of this. I think this is a cool addition.
Did you get to watch it?
Do the setup, and we'll watch a little bit of it together right now.
You should show the whole thing.
It's 6 minutes and 59 seconds. It's 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I have a show, Restaurant Tours, on OCN videos or Community Now videos on YouTube. I focus on a restaurant, show it for 6-7 minutes, just one restaurant. And we started this a little over a year ago, last February. The first place I called to do the first episode was Los Dos Patrios. And they just opened in Parker, and I'm a big fan of the Centennial location. So we went, filmed it. It was terrible, as any first episode would be, but they were so nice and the food was so good. It came out okay anyway, and it got tremendous amount of views because they have a big, big following. These guys have 4 locations that all kill it. People love them in the South Metro. So I had an idea to shoot them again, give them like a makeup video now that we have bought better equipment and we have a bigger team, and I've gotten better at it. And to combine what they're doing with how they're keeping people safe with Corona, and then also donating the food to somebody. So we donated it to South Metro Fire.
Oh, wow.
And it really, my team is phenomenal. The fact that we shot this in 2 hours and on Saturday, and it's edited by Monday and approved and out on Tuesday, that's some impressive turnaround.
Without further ado, here it is, Restaurant Tours.
On this episode of Restaurant Tours on OCN Eats, we have a very special edition today. We're at Los Dos Patrios, Highlands Ranch. We're going to make the food. We're going to show you how they're keeping everybody safe. And then we're going to donate that food to the fire station. We're going to put on our masks. Let's eat.
Sort of bump. What's up, Larry?
What's up, Larry?
Long time no see.
Thanks for having me back again. This is where it all started with Restaurateur, Season 1, Episode 1, at the location in Parker. Now we're in Highlands Ranch. For people who don't remember at home, give us a little history of Los Dos Patrios.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, Luis and I, we are, owners with my father. Yep. I'm not sure if you knew. I don't know if we told you this in the first episode, but
we've
Los
been
Dos
here,
Patrios,
Jay.
That's actually Luis and I.
We know these
guys.
named
after us too.
We've been there, Jay. We know these
Get to
guys.
the
It's up by
fast
that
forward
barbecue
again.
place. Where is it?
Show the end, the fire station.
Well, I'm not going to end this yet. I was just...
all right. You're still running it?
Yeah, but I will show the fire station. Here we go.
Thank you, sir. Sure appreciate this.
We got to pull out the fire truck.
Danny, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Hey, you guys, this is very special to us here at the Station 12. Want to really appreciate and say thank you to Los Dos for this awesome donation you guys have made to us.
We want to say thank you to you. We truly appreciate everything you're doing for us and the community. Thank you so much. You guys really are the true heroes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this special episode of Restaurateurs on OCN Eats with Los Dos Patrios. Los Dos Patrios is keeping you safe. Support your local restaurant. They are practicing social distancing, wearing masks, donating food to local health responders and fire stations. Stay healthy out there. Let's eat.
That was a good one, Larry.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that episode. It means a lot to me.
You went with the jeans and sandals look with the untucked shirt. That was an interesting choice you put there.
You're such a jerk.
Why is
What
that
an interesting choice? My fashion designer friend over there.
Well, I thought it was a good choice.
You said interesting choice. You did not say good choice.
Oh, it's interesting bad? I'm sorry.
Interesting is a nice way of saying bad.
It was
Yeah.
a good choice. Are you doing sandals and jeans today?
Do you want to see my outfit? Really?
Yeah, I do.
No, I'm not wearing pants.
Sure you are. Probably got. You see, you got the shirt tucked in today. You looking good. See that, Doctor? You got sandals on today.
I have no shoes on. I am wearing pants, but there are no shoes.
It was my weekend outfit. It was my day off.
I like it, man. No sweat. That was a good turnaround on that video too. And I promise you, Jay, we went and visited those guys. It was up north in Lafayette area, isn't it? No, where was that? Do they have one up north? They don't.
Centennial, Littleton, Highlands Ranch, and Parker. All along C-470.
Man, I can swear we've seen those guys.
I mean, I don't remember it, but I don't remember much. So I'm
by
taking
Wibby Brewing.
I'm taking your word for
They
it.
might have a cousin that has a Mexican restaurant up north. I'm pretty sure they do.
All right, what's this? Mike's Craft Kitchen.
Mix.
This
is unbelievable. Like, I'd never heard of this lady. It's just like what I've been telling you. Anybody could be on the show. So she DM'd me, how could I be on What's for Lunch? And I thought Mick was going to be a Mick, but it's Amanda owns Mick. It's named after her daughter, Michaela. And holy cow.
All right, we're going to give you a little taste of this.
Southern buttermilk biscuits.
What's for lunch right here? It debuted today on the Denver Now page, right?
And in theory, it was cross-posted on your page. I don't know if that worked.
Well, in theory, we'll look. All right, let's check this out.
Good afternoon, Colorado. I'm your host, Larry Herz, here for another episode of What's for Lunch. Today, I'm fired up because this food looks unbelievable. We have Mick's Crafted Kitchen.
Look at that.
Amanda, the owner here, is nice enough to bring us in just some gorgeous-looking food. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So you're one of the unlucky ones who opened this year.
Yes, January 1.
Yeah, and so where are you located, and tell us a little bit about Mick's.
Sure. We're located in Denver at the corner of Iliff and Quebec, and we opened on January 1. The idea was to bring true, authentic Southern-style biscuits to the Denver area.
Okay.
And when I purchased the place, it was set up beautifully for pizza. So I got some pizza experts in. We worked through the dough. We worked through the whole process, and I feel like we created a an excellent product.
And why Southern and why biscuits?
Well, I'm from North Carolina.
Okay.
I grew up in West Virginia, so making biscuits with my grandma is pretty much how I spent my entire life. So this is legit grandma recipe type food.
I've never seen these on the outside. Tell me
Yes.
why or what. They're so different looking.
It's a fun Southern concept. You basically take your buttermilk biscuit and you just create different flavors. So we have a blueberry biscuit, a maple bacon, and a cheddar jalapeno, which is my personal.
So a pizzeria and a biscuit. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around this.
It's dough is dough.
One of those looks dessert-like.
The blueberry one I had for dessert. Yes, it had a little frosting on it. It was almost like a scone, but a lot better. I mean, I don't understand the scone thing. It's like a dry muffin. Who likes a dry muffin?
I'm digging the What's for Lunch, Larry. You can catch that also on YouTube. That's not on the same page, is it? Yeah, it is. As the other one just had 250 views. The restaurant tour, it's brand new. That's getting some action.
That's a good first day. We're off to a good start.
Yeah, that is. We'll share that right away, too. That's a good one. Hopefully you'll be able to join us Thursday over at Molly's as well. What are some of the openings and closings that you have for us today?
It's not. I didn't even make a list today. The big thing today, of course, is about Cinco de Mayo being on Taco Tuesday, and everybody. I'm not going to name where to go because everybody's got deals going today. Of course, the Los Dos boys have some great deals, but every taco place. So support local. Go eat. Do not eat at a Taco Bell, please. Eat at a Machete. Eat at a Uno Mas.
Hallelujah. Amen to that, Larry. Don't go to that Taco Bell drive-thru. Make some at home, too. Do you like making tacos at home, Larry?
Yeah, we make tacos all the time at home. I'm not going to say I'm like gourmet. Like I just do the ground beef ones.
Make your own Taco Bell tacos.
Yeah, we made chalupas last week though. That's not hard to make. The soft shell and the crunchy shell. I like that. The chalupas were good.
You keep busting out these videos. What's on tap tomorrow? We've got what's for lunch.
Tomorrow's. It's. I don't plan at all. Like who's coming in each week. It's just I take them as people ask if they can come on. And it's just we're getting a really nice variety of big-time restaurants and no-name restaurants and famous and infamous. And so tomorrow is Kevin Taylor's son, Ryan Tailor, from Hickory and Ash in Broomfield, which is a phenomenal restaurant. We've done an episode with him of restaurant tours. We did it at Mi Cocina, which is a couple of doors down in Broomfield, right next to that First Bank Center. And that Mexican food was phenomenal. I have not eaten at Hickory and Ash, but he's coming into studio for What's for Lunch tomorrow. Super nice kid. And little known trivia, I managed for Kevin Tailor 20 years ago, maybe.
20 years ago. Did you really?
You know Kevin Tailor?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I was a manager at a restaurant called Prima in the Hotel Teatro. He had the name, the Kevin Tailor, the fine dining restaurant was in the hotel also. And then I helped him open Kevin Tailor's at the Opera House. I was the opening general manager there, which is still open, actually. Gorgeous restaurant. If you've never been to it's in the basement of the Opera House. Just stunning dining room. I don't think you can eat there regularly just when there are events, and they rent it out for catering mainly. But
he does Limelight too, doesn't he? Doesn't he do Limelight as well? Is it called?
Yeah, Limelight's him. He was at the hotel at the Modern Museum. He's not there anymore, and I'm pretty sure him and his wife Denise got inducted into the Colorado Restaurant Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, he should. If he's not, he should be. That's for sure. A heavy hitter around here. Hey, Larry, I got an idea. We'll figure this out offline, but on Thursday at Molly's, can we meld together maybe a What's for Lunch and a Modern Eater together and do it from Molly's?
Let me think about that. But yes, we could do something.
Think about that.
I'm trying to think what I have Thursday. I don't remember.
Think about that. Let's see if we can push them together.
You just want some free food. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'll pay.
Oh, actually, you don't like free food. I forgot that.
I'll pay. I like food.
Whoa.
Yeah, hang on. Don't get crazy on me now.
What do
That's
you
right.
mean he doesn't like free food?
Larry, I don't know if you got this.
I bet I can get Becca from Sugar Sisters to bring us some cookies.
That'd be cool. That would be cool. Actually, let's hook that up. We've been wanting to interview her anyway, so maybe we can set that up with they're Sugar Sisters, right?
Yeah, I'll send her a message right after.
Cool. If you missed it, Kelly Whitaker was on earlier, and we had to congratulate him. James Beard Foundation announced its final nominees, and topping the list of 4. They're waiting to get the nod. Carrie Baird, Carolyn Glover, Dana Rodriguez, and Kelly Whitaker, all of which have been on the show. Carolyn Glover is actually coming up on Thursday. We'll have Carolyn Glover on the Modern Eater show. Dave Thibodeau is going to be standing by. We're going to do something with Dave from Ska. We'll end this stream. Jump over to Ska Brewing Company's live stream, and you'll see Dave and Steve doing their thing, talking about the Ska Mexican lager. Tim Downey, Windsor Mill Tavern, thank you. Dr. Sara Metz had to take off and leave. Larry Herz, as always, OCN Eats and OCN Drinks, and Chef Brother Luck for joining the stream today. Tomorrow we'll see you back here, Larry, and happy Cinco de Mayo.
Be safe.
Good to see you. There he is, Larry Herz. Jay, great work. We'll be back here tomorrow. We're breaking off now just a little bit early because at 4 p.m. on the Ska stream, I'm trying to name their show for them. I'm trying to make them do a show, a weekly show, and Steve and Breezy. That's what I think. It should be Dave and Breezy.
Yeah, I mean, the Breezy's obviously he's got the name for it. So Breezy.
Does Dave have a nickname? I don't know if he does.
Probably the Big D.
Thank you guys for probably the big D and Breezy.
Yeah.
And Breeze.
Yeah, Deezy.
That's right.
Beer and Deezy.
Thank you guys for tuning in today. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 2 p.m. And don't forget, Friday, COVID. Go to the Modern Eater and click on that event page. It has all the information of the participants. But we look forward to seeing you on Friday. And until tomorrow, for Jay Parker, myself, Greg Hollenbach, we'll see you back here tomorrow, 2 p.m. on the Modern Eater.